Okay, before you start this project, you're going to need a Nikon 7100 camera. To identify what camera that you have, it is located right here. Okay, Nikon 7100. It can have any lens on it. It does have to have a battery, so I'll show you how to put a battery in it. Underneath the camera, you have this. Battery goes in just like that. If it's missing the door, that's okay. It's also going to have an SD card in this slot right here. To check the battery, rotate it to the on position. And the battery indicator is right there. Okay, once you have all the following, proceed with the video. Okay, before we start using a camera, we're going to reset it back to the very first time it was ever used. Okay, that's a good practice, especially in a classroom where you have multiple people using cameras. In order to do that, on a Nikon 7100, there is a green dot here, and there is a green dot down here. And you can see the other green dot right there. See it? So hold those two green dots at the very same time while you're watching this area right here. And there you saw it. It blinked. And that blink indicates that it's now reset. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is go over here to this dial, press the center button, and then we rotate it so that it's at M for manual. While we're on the same dial, there is a button below it that allows us to rotate this. So rotate that one to CH. Now we're going to make sure that the lens and the body is in autofocus mode. So the first one, just make sure this is an A. If the lens has VR, go ahead and you could turn that on. It doesn't really matter too much, but leave it on. And here on the body of the camera, make sure that's on A2, AF. So autofocus, autofocus. Then make sure the lens is collapsed down for the next set. Okay, we're going to put the camera into a very easy mode for students to understand so they get used to using a camera. Very important, before you start learning like aperture and shutter speed and ISO and all the buttons on your camera, to get buy-in, you learn how to hold your camera and shoot a few basic shots. So this setting right here is good for an introduction on how to get a good shot in both poor lighting and good lighting. Alright, we start by finding this dial on the front. There's also a dial in the back that we need. Okay, the dial in the front is your aperture, and the dial in your back is your shutter speed. So with the lens collapsed down to its fullest contraction, we rotate this dial until it gives us the lowest number. Now this lowest number might be different on all cameras, or all lenses. So whatever lens that we have in there, this lens goes down to 3.5. So we're going to lower it down to 3.5. The shutter speed, again, is this one right here. So we're going to rotate it until it reaches 180. 180 is a good shutter speed for both action and still shots, anything below 125, you have to have it on a tripod. So 180. Next thing we want to do is set the ISO to be an auto. Okay. To do that, locate the ISO button, hold it, and while you're holding it, rotate the front dial. You can see that it turns it to ISO auto. See, off, on. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is turn the quality on the camera up. Right now it's in normal. Okay. To do that, we locate the quality, and then that's why we keep it on a tripod, quality, and rotate the back button until it says fine. Right there. Fine. Okay, to check that you have all the right settings, you can press the dial or press the button, and it should make continuous shots. Okay? And those continuous shots are, it's a good way to, it's a burst mode that allows you to take many shots at once. And that's caused by the CH. Okay, so let's review the front of or the back of the camera, because there is a setting that students love because they have cell phones, and I would highly recommend staying out of this mode. If you're going to learn how to shoot a camera, stay out of this mode. So I'm going to show you how to turn the mode on. LV. Okay, I would stay out of this mode. But there it is. That's your cell phone mode. Because you've been conditioned to use cell phones, you are always looking at a view screen monitor. Get rid of that idea. Just get used to using this. Okay? Especially if you're planning on taking pictures of people and action and all that stuff, this is much faster than this. If it's just portfolio stuff, yeah, portfolio stuff, you take a picture of it. If it's still life, yeah, go ahead. But if you're taking pictures of people, action, and if you're going into multiple situations, like out in different lighting, use that. Okay, let's kind of take a picture. Let's say I want to see the pictures that we take. I could do that by hitting play, and then I can page through the pictures. Because this camera has no SD card in it, it says demo. So I'm only allowed 2 shots. Now by turning that off, I can now go back into using this. When I take a shot, it's automatically going to pop up the back, but it's going to turn itself off. So if you want to check your shots, that's what this thing is for, to checking your shots. This is to take your shot, check your shot. Cool. If you're not experiencing this type of reaction with your camera, another thing that gets turned on a lot is this. So make sure it's on camera mode. Cool. So that is how to set up a Nikon 7100 in a basic mode so students can get used to using a camera. Enjoy.